he had just lain down in his bed when he heard a door beginning to behave as doors do when they think they're quite alone and nobody's looking. Then, as you know, they unlatch themselves and begin walking to and fro on their hinges, hitting themselves against their frames. This often happened to the nursery door when he came downstairs in the morning, after he was quite sure he had shut it. His mother therefore sent him up to shut it again. Sure enough, the door was always open, having undone itself to go for a walk on its hinges. But on this night, he thought that the sound of the door came from under his pillow. But he very carelessly fell asleep, just as he was listening in order to make sure. And the next thing he knew was that Nanny was telling him it was morning. Again, on the very next night, he had only just put his head on the pillow when the door began banging. It sounded muffled, and there was no doubt this time that it came from under his pillow. Well, he sat up in the bed, broad awake, and pulled his pillow away. By the light of the flame cats who were dancing tonight, he could see the smooth white surface of his bolster, but alas, there was no door there. And David was now quite sure that somewhere under his pillow was the door he was looking for. One time he had allowed himself to go to sleep before finding it, and the other time he had got too much awake. So, on the third night, he took the pin partridge to bed with him, in the hope that it would keep him just awake enough by pricking him with the head of its pin leg. The pin partridge had, of course, come out of Noah's Ark, and in the course of some terrible adventures had lost a leg. So Nanny had taken a pin and driven it into the stump so that it could stand again. The pin leg was rather longer than the wooden one, which made the partridge lean a little to one side, as if it was listening to the agreeable conversation of the animal next to it. Sure enough, on this third night, David had only just lain down with the pin partridge in one hand and the pin ready to scratch his leg to keep him just awake enough, when the door began banging again, just below his pillow. He listened a little while, pressing the pinhead against his calf so that it hurt a little, but not enough to wake him up hopelessly, and moved his head about till he was sure that his ear was directly above the door. And then, very quietly, he pushed his pillow aside, and there, in the middle of his bolster, was a beautiful shining blue door with a gold handle, swinging gently to and fro, as if it was alone. Well, he got up, pushed it open, and entered. For fear of some dreadful misfortune happening, like finding his mother on the other side of it, who might send him back to shut it, he closed it very carefully and softly. He found that there was a key hanging up on the wall beside it, and to his great joy it fitted the keyhole. He locked it and put the key back on its nail so that when he came back he could let himself out, and in the meantime nobody could possibly reach him.